This message isn't for the curious. It's for the called. You didn't stumble upon this video by chance. You were summoned, not by luck or algorithm, but by the hand of the divine. Right now, this very moment in your life has been divinely orchestrated. Heaven has whispered your name, and now the message is being delivered directly to your spirit. You felt it, haven't you? That stirring deep within, that weight in the air, that quiet shift you can't explain but can no longer ignore. It's been pressing on your heart, the sense that something monumental is about to unfold, and you're standing at the threshold. While others around you remain blind, asleep, untouched, you are different. You've been awakened. That tension, that ache in your chest, it isn't confusion, it's confirmation. You are not crazy. You are not alone. You are not ordinary. You've been marked by God, set apart, chosen for a time such as this. Before you were ever born, before you even took your first breath, you were known. You were set apart. This moment is not accidental. It's an appointment, not with entertainment, not with comfort, but with destiny. This is a spiritual transmission, a holy download, and with it comes a choice. You can walk away unchanged, or you can rise into the divine purpose that has been waiting for your yes. There is no middle ground. I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life. Deuteronomy 30:19. So I ask you, are you ready? Are you ready to stop hiding in the shadows of your former self? Are you ready to become who heaven already knows you are? If your spirit is leaping with recognition, if this resonates in your bones, then declare it. Type 777 in the comments. That number is not random. It represents divine perfection, spiritual completeness, and heaven's signature over your life. Let it be your shout into the unseen. I accept, I receive, I surrender. And if you feel led, leave a prayer. Bless someone else. Stand in agreement with the warriors rising beside you. Even if no one responds, heaven sees it all. You are seen. You are covered. You are never walking alone. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Stay with me until the end. We will speak a powerful prayer over your day, your future, and your calling. The shift is happening now. So breathe deep. Open your heart. What you are about to hear may change the way you see everything. Your calling was never random. It was never a backup plan. It was woven into your very DNA before the foundations of the earth were ever laid. Heaven spoke your name into assignment long before you ever knew what purpose was. You didn't earn this calling through perfection or popularity. You were chosen because the Creator saw something in you this world could never measure. Eternity stamped on your spirit. And that kind of calling doesn't begin the moment you say yes. It begins the moment God says, "This one I choose." He has saved us and called us to a holy life, not because of anything we have done, but because of His own purpose and grace. 2 Timothy 1:9. That's why you've never quite fit in. Why applause never filled you. Why trying to conform left you empty. You've searched for peace in people, in patterns, in places. Yet the ache remained. Because you were never built for the noise of this world. You were built to respond to the sound of heaven. That quiet tug you've tried to ignore, that was never your imagination. That was God calling you to rise. You tried to bury the burden. You tried to be normal. But the pressure never lifted, did it? Because what you carry isn't a curse. It's a calling. That weight in your chest isn't anxiety. It's assignment. You were never meant to blend in because your spirit was designed for kingdom work. Look back for a moment. The scars, the rejection, the nights you thought you wouldn't make it. They weren't punishment. They were preparation. Every betrayal was a divine barrier. Every delay was disguised protection. God wasn't trying to break you. He was refining you like gold in the fire, making you unshakable where you once bled. Like David, anointed but sent back to the fields. Like Moses, hidden in the wilderness. Like Esther, concealed until the moment she was called to stand. You weren't overlooked. You were hidden for holy unveiling. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. What felt like rejection was redirection. What looked like isolation was insulation, protection from counterfeit paths. What seemed like defeat was God rerouting you back to the divine blueprint. Because you are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness, and hell knew it before you did. That's why the warfare came early. That's why it's felt so personal. The enemy doesn't target the harmless, he targets the anointed. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. Isaiah 54:17. You weren't attacked because you were weak. You were attacked because you carry something hell fears. And the reason you're still standing, bruised, scarred, but breathing, is because God has preserved you for this very hour. Like Joseph, who looked his betrayers in the eye and said, "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good." Genesis 50:20. That's not just his story, that's your story. Stop questioning your worth. Stop asking why me, and start asking why now. Because it was never about your readiness, it was about your response. God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And he's calling you, louder than ever before. The gifts and calling of God are irrevocable. Romans 11:29. This is not the time to shrink back. This is the time to rise. The world is groaning, heaven is watching, and the hour is late. You've wondered why you've been through so much, but soon you'll understand. The pressure was birthing power. The wilderness was preparing authority. The waiting was cultivating weight. You're not just entering a season, you're stepping into your assignment. You can feel it now, can't you? Like the atmosphere has shifted, like something sacred is vibrating under what appears ordinary, because nothing is ordinary anymore. This is prophecy in motion. Heaven is opening, creation is leaning in, and you have been written into the script. Everyone who is called by my name, whom I created for my glory, whom I formed and made. Isaiah 43:7. So breathe deep. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Everything you've survived, all the heartbreak, all the battles, all the closed doors, it's all been leading here. Let me speak to the part of you that's been quietly stirring, the part that's been feeling the pressure, the unease, the weight no one else seems to understand. That's not paranoia. It's not overthinking. It's the whisper of a divine shift. The realms are moving. Assignments are being activated. Angels are taking formation. And darkness is trembling, not because it's winning, but because it's losing ground. The chaos you sense, the heaviness, the strange energy, it's not random. It's friction. Heaven is advancing. And where heaven presses in, hell panics. That inner war you've been enduring, it's the echo of a cosmic clash, and you're at the center of it. Yes, you. Not because of a title, not because of a stage, but because heaven has been forming you in secret. While others built platforms, God built you. While some were praised, you were purified. Think of Gideon, of Hannah. They weren't loud, they weren't seen, but they were essential. You've been trained in rejection, sharpened in silence, refined in fire. You've known what it's like to worship without a crowd, to obey without applause. That wasn't wasted. That was preparation. The ones hell fears the most aren't the loudest. They're the ones who never stop praying in the dark. Lately, the pressure has grown. Your nights feel heavier, your spirit more alert. That's not anxiety. It's divine readiness. God isn't just shifting seasons. He's realigning realms. Mantles are being reassigned. Authority is being restructured. And he's not choosing based on fame. He's choosing based on faithfulness. Think of Gideon, hiding in the winepress, doubting himself, overlooked by everyone until heaven called him a mighty warrior. Judges 6:12. Or Hannah, who wept in bitterness year after year, misunderstood by the world, her anguish mistaken for weakness, not knowing she was about to birth a prophet who would shift the destiny of a nation. 1 Samuel 1. These weren't loud people. They weren't visible, celebrated, or praised, but they were essential. Like them, you've been refined in rejection, sharpened in solitude, trained in fire. You've known what it feels like to remain faithful with no audience, obedient with no applause, devoted when it looked like no one noticed. But heaven noticed. That wasn't wasted time. It was divine training. Because the ones who terrify hell the most are not always the loudest or most followed. They are the ones who kept worshiping when it hurt, the ones who stayed in prayer when no one saw them, the ones who remained in position even while their hearts were breaking. Lately, the pressure has increased. The nights feel heavier, your dreams more vivid, your spirit constantly alert, even in stillness. That's not anxiety. That's spiritual sensitivity. That's your soul aligning with divine timing. This isn't just a seasonal change. It's a supernatural recalibration. God is not merely shifting atmospheres. He is realigning the spiritual landscape. Authority is being transferred. Mantles are being reassigned. Territory is being claimed. And he's not selecting based on charisma. He's choosing based on purity, humility, obedience, and preparation. He's looking for those who have emptied themselves of ego, who are more hungry for his presence than for recognition.
If you've been weeping in secret, fighting silent battles, longing to hear God more clearly than the noise of the world, then heaven is speaking to you directly. That aches you feel, that holy discontent. That's not burnout. It's the sound of your spirit resonating with divine summons. You are being activated. Not someday, not later, now. There are realms your voice alone can reach, chains that will only break through your obedience. Regions that will only shift when you step into them with spiritual authority. There are assignments in this very hour that have your name written on them. Blueprints etched in eternity, now entering physical manifestation. That's why the warfare has been so fierce. Because the enemy knows what you're about to walk into, even if you don't yet see it. But heaven sees it. Heaven planned it. Heaven is moving through you. So don't shrink. Don't silence yourself. Don't doubt what's already been confirmed in the Spirit. You are closer than you think, more aligned than you realize, and more necessary than you've ever dared to believe. This is not hype. This is not emotion. This is not some motivational echo dressed up in scripture. This is divine instruction. This is heaven issuing a call, not to the casual, but to the consecrated. God is not stirring passive observers. He is activating warriors, prophets, intercessors, and vessels hidden in plain sight. This word is for the ones who have forgotten who they are, who've wandered, been wary, pressed but not crushed. It's for those who have felt that tension, the war between the promise and the process, the intensity in the air, the urgency in the chest, the rise in your spirit even as emotions falter. That's not confusion. That's not your mind playing tricks. That's heaven's rhythm quickening your pace. You've been caught in a divine momentum, one that defies logic, resists explanation, and demands surrender. The warfare, the sleepless nights, the unexplainable tears. It's all part of the shift. Because the heavens are in motion, and the earth is trembling to match their movement. You are standing at the center of spiritual convergence, and the timing is exact. Isaiah 60 declares, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." This is that moment. But here's what many miss. Heaven never moves alone. God does not release plans through spectators. He uses surrendered lives. The heavens are ready, but they wait on earthly agreement. Just like Isaiah responded to the divine question, "Whom shall I send?" with, "Here am I, send me." Isaiah 6-8. You must answer now. Will you go even if the path is unclear? Will you say yes, even when it leads to silence and not the spotlight? Because what comes next will not ask for your strength. It will require your surrender. We've been trained to believe that calling means noise, action, movement. But some of the most powerful shifts in Scripture began in silence. God called Samuel in the stillness of the night, while others slept. 1 Samuel 3. He whispered to Elijah not through fire or wind, but through a gentle whisper. 1 Kings 9:9. Some callings are sealed not in thunder, but in quiet obedience. And both carry equal weight in the Spirit. This next chapter will not need more excitement. It will need consecration, obedience without clarity, trust without explanation. Because heaven is not giving suggestions. It is releasing commandments. You've asked for a word, a sign, a confirmation. This is it. Not a shout, but a whisper soaked in power. Move. Not when you feel ready, not when others approve. Move now in faith. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." He is not testing your faith. He is testing your response. Will you go when the door doesn't look like what you prayed for? Will you say yes when the cost is high and the comfort is gone? Because the next level isn't waiting on new information. It's waiting on your obedience. You weren't brought to this moment to be pacified. You were brought here to be commissioned. This is spiritual deployment. Sacred, strategic, supernatural. The kind that breaks generational chains, claims new ground, and fulfills promises declared before your birth. No more hiding. No more waiting for signs in the sky. In the kingdom, there is no perfect moment. There is only the appointed one. And this is it. This word was held until now for a reason. It couldn't come early. You had to walk through certain trials, shed false identities, heal from deep wounds. The earth had to shift. The hour had to align. But now, the clock of heaven has struck divine alignment. Galatians 4:4 says, "When the time had fully come, God sent, and that fullness has come to you. Not a second too early, not a second too late. God is placing something sacred in your hands, quietly. No lightning, no spotlight, no audience, just you and Him." Because heaven often delivers its most dangerous assignments in silence. In this kingdom, stealth is strength. Sacred things aren't shouted, they are shielded. You don't need a crowd. You don't need approval. You only need obedience to the one who whispered your name in the quiet. As Matthew 6:7-6 instructs, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. This is not about being visible. It's about being valuable in the invisible places. It's not about performance. It's about positioning. And now comes a truth that should both ground you and shake you. You are being called into position. This isn't a suggestion. It's a heavenly order. And when God calls, no demon can block it. No delay can erase it. No voice can cancel it. The only one who can stop it is you. Heaven is moving, but it will not override your will. That's why obedience is so powerful. Not because it's perfect, but because it's willing. Isaiah 1:19 says, "If you are willing and obedient, you will eat the good of the land." So ask yourself now, am I inspired or activated? Will I leave this moment stirred but stagnant, or will I step forward? This isn't about hype, it's about holy surrender. You are standing at a threshold, an eternal doorway, and what's beyond it was prepared for you before time. But you must choose to walk through it. And now, to those still here, there is more, a deeper word. One not meant for the masses, but for those who are ready to steward the sacred. This next part is not content. It's not for sharing. It's not for captions. It's not a quote. It's a trust. Heaven did not give you this word for applause, but for alignment. Do not give dogs what is holy. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. So Matthew 7:6. Before you share, discern. Before you speak, ask. Is this meant to be protected instead of promoted? Because revelation without reverence is dangerous. The sacred must be shielded until God says otherwise. When heaven speaks in whispers, it's not weakness, it's weight. The holy does not crave the spotlight. It seeks stewards. And God trusted you with this word not because you were loud, but because you endured. Because you survived when no one saw. Because instead of bitterness, you chose stillness. And in that stillness, this word was born. So don't broadcast it. Carry it. And if it burns within you, if you feel the call echoing in your spirit, then honor it. Live it. Walk it out. Let the holy remain holy. And when you're ready, when you've weighed the cost, when your spirit has answered what your lips cannot yet say, then step forward. You're not being comforted. You're being commissioned. Haven has moved. Now it waits for you. If this word pierced your spirit, if it echoed in your soul and you know it was for you, don't let it end here. Like, subscribe, and share only if you're led. But most of all, obey. Welcome to Rise and Shine, where heaven speaks and destiny awaken.